Endpoint are starting on that CT side as we crack on with Vertigo.
It is going to be a lot of utility for Mighty Max. He's going to be their grenade mule on that CT side. Well, Saw, they'll have a little bit of utility for Studodo as well. So both opportunities to try and force a little bit of an opening for either side, but with Endpoint up a map, the pressure is on for Saw to try and convert their own pick. It's crucial. He's going to be taking the first fight. It's Boros who actually gets the first shot, and he's going to be able to double up as well as he takes Mutiris out of action, and now Roman is trying to fight for his life, but he can't quite do it. Luckily for Saw, though, that was all a bit of a facade. The bomb's already shifted over towards George, towards B site George. It's not got it over to the George site yet. For CSGO to add that one as Story. Oh, the flashbang's good, but it's not going to pull out a kill for him, and Surreal is just going to clean things up. He had a lot on his plate. I don't even know if he knew which player to shoot at there.
Somehow I don't think he did. Weirdly enough. But either way, it is going to be that CT-sided pistol round victory for Endpoint. You know what that means, Dan? It's going to be 1-1. It just is. It's just the law, I'm afraid. You have a permit for that pistol round?
Of course.
Oh, you do? Okay, in that case then.
Yeah. On you go.
I'll proceed into the next round. It reminds me of whenever you say that thing about the permit. There's a scene from Parks and Recreation where Ron Swanson is about to slaughter a pig in a park. And the park ranger comes up to him and asks him, do you have a permit for that, Ron? I was like, you can't do that. And he goes, yeah, of course I can. I have a permit. And there's just a piece of paper that says I can do what I want. And that kind of, to me, says a lot about the Endpoint side. And I'm afraid that second round conversion is looking all the less likely now that 4 of their players are gone in the first 20 seconds.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah. And that's just Tech9's running rampant. Along with those Deagles. Saw a huge round to pick up here. Getting straight back into things. Surreal's just going to hold on to his M4. Hope that it can find something this next round where Endpoint will have the force buy around it. But it's only going to be, what, $1,400 coming in for Endpoint? So you're going to have yourself an awkward situation here. Where you're left with probably just Deagles and other miscellaneous pistols around that single M4.
Terrorists win.
So actually keep 4 players alive as well. That's a very nice round. They upgrade a couple players into M4, into a AUG, and carry a couple Gleals through as well. So that's really, really nice for them. Obviously the bomb plant helped out from that first pistol round. The extra $800 made that possible. Now George will have to see whether Endpoint can fight back here.
I hope they certainly can. We want an interesting game of Vertigo, not one in which one team just gets steamrolled. We've had enough of that today already. Like, both the matches that we had so far haven't really been mega competitive games. But even still, they've been fun nonetheless. There's been some good moments in each of them, but this is not going to be one of them for Boros. Studodo has taken him down instantaneously once again, not really surviving the first 25 seconds of the round once more. So now he provides more access to the site for his teammates. Roman this time gets one on to Surreal, forcing back Crucial now with the Molotov that drops upon his head, and the remainder of the team might consider saving him, because I feel like that's going to be their best option in order to have some kind of potency and power into the next round. Mighty Max with the M4 will likely as not just hold station to see if anybody wants to come in for a little push. I don't think anybody's too interested, and he will also feign interest and back away. So, a second round for Saw. I've spoken about this before, Dan, but I believe it's also still the case, in my mind, that winning the second round is often more impactful than winning the pistol itself.
I think there's merits to that, yeah. I think there is scenarios where you have on the T side to a real ability to build up cash, because Endpoint, you'll only have that $1,400 coming in on that CT side in the second round, as opposed to your usual $1,900. I mean, yeah, and it's only $500, but $500 per player can add up to a little bit of extra utility and can make that second round a lot, or yeah, a second round as a CT side, a lot more impactful than it would be in a third round where Saw sort of win out the second round. So I agree. I think there's definitely a bigger struggle for the CT side economically if the T side rebuttals in the second.
So tumultuous times, trepid waters here for Team Endpoint. They're going to find themselves not only disadvantaged in firepower, but also in utility, in armor, in basically every facet of the game in which they can be disadvantaged. They will find themselves in such situations right now. Unfortunately for Saw, that is not going to be the man advantage. They actually find themselves advantaged in that momentarily until Gutierrez is able to take down Crucial. Levels the scores back into 3-on-3. The A site, it still looks like a persistency here from Saw, and they're going to just mow through the Endpoint side on their way on in. It's just Surreal remaining. It's a 1 versus 3 with nothing more than a P250. It would be spectacular to say the least, but he won't even get a chance to fire off a shot that connects with anybody. Just takes him down as soon as he emerges from the smoke, and Saw will get up to 3 in a row. Finally, some semblance of a buy coming in from Endpoint, but it is not going to be spectacular by any sense of the word. No AWP, even a FAMAS coming up for Mighty Max, so he can have the utility. The in-game leader for the British squad's taking the hit for the rest of his team.
Another thing that just actually reminded me of there, this buy isn't spectacular, and that is again sort of from that thing I noted before when you were talking about the second round as a T side being more impactful than winning the pistol round. Is obviously that loss bonus that you sort of miss out on as Endpoint during those 3 rounds. That stacks up for each of those 3 rounds. So instead of like 1900 on the first buy, you only have 1400. Instead of 2400, it's 1900. Instead of 2900, it's 2400. So each of these rounds, you're losing $500 per player, and that means that in this round, you're essentially at sort of a disadvantage of about $1,000 per player for the most part. So you can see, like, Mighty Max with his FAMAS, there's almost no utility to play with. That's how hard that hits you. And you're probably going to see Saw get into a 5-round advantage here before Endpoint are able to fight back.
Not really the best of situations here for Endpoint, so they need to do a lot with a little. Of course, it's all going to come down to the mechanical plays that are going to come out from this team here. And often that is all that's required over at the B site, where Saw are about to commit all their resources. Surreal has taken Just down early on, and that may surely this is going to elicit a rotation to come on through. There is a flank starting to be emerged upon by Mighty Max, but it is going to be so far before anyone is able to assist Surreal, who actually gets another frag before he goes down. That's spectacular work to go for a 2-for-1 when you're the only player inside the B site. You also burn so much time off that clock as now Thomas gets into position, but he's struggling to finish the frag on Stododo, but thankfully he's got assistance from Mighty Max and Boros, who find both frags in unison.
So they actually make that pretty strenuous buy work, Endpoint, which is great for them. So they have economy to rebuy, though, I believe. They can still go for that one. So Dodo has a lot of cash in reserve, and they'll divvy it out. Story gets the AWP, there's 4 AKs, that is everything you need, and even a little bit of cash for a few of these players. So if you're able to recover at least 1 rifle here, you can certainly put up a fight in this next round as well. So that just sort of goes to show how much Saw were able to sort of carry forward from those previous rounds. And there's a very, very dicey duel between Crucial and Story. Both of them tag each other up with the ult, neither of them going down. Both are left with just about 15 HP and a few shots through the smoke from Boris. Not going to be able to connect onto anything, apart from a barn door, perhaps.
Well, some might say he's not even able to hit that. Exchange of incendiaries from either side on the A-ramp, resulting in nothing more than a stalemate, I'm afraid, over there. Now Mutiris and the rest of the gang will look to try and refocus their efforts in towards this B site, where last time Surreal stood exceptionally tall over here. This time it's Crucial, down to 15 HP, but has the AWP, so health isn't so much of a factor unless someone connects the first bullet on him, which is unlikely because the AWP is just a bit good at that kind of thing. The HE grenade, though, is going to successfully dislodge him. but not before Thomas is able to add not one more frag to that tally. Now the B site under siege. It seems that the B site is already fallen. The smokes have done more than enough to keep these CTs at bay. They're not going to have an opportunity to fire off a retake just yet before Mighty Max is headed flank. He's got one frag, quickly snatches the second with Boris's assistance, and Thomas grabs Roman at the expense of Surreal. It's still 3 players surviving. It's still 3 players keeping weapons into the next round. Big, juicy weapons in the AWP and the AK, and it's still a 3rd round for Endpoint.
Getting their footed in this game. So, might start feeling the pressure if this continues, and they're going to call for a tactical timeout. I think that's wise. As well as the fact that Story's left with very limited cash. You could go for the sort of full investment in this one, but you would have Story, maybe he goes for a Galil, maybe just a Deagle and gets a little bit of extra utility through. That's going to be up to Saw to decide, because the rest of the team, they can fully invest. They might just elect to go for a half buy here, allow Endpoint 4, and then get everything you need in that next round. I think that's probably the better option. It looks like they might just half invest and keep enough for that rebuy. No, they're going all in. They are going all in, George. They want to make it 4 for Saw. You can see Story, just that Galil, no utility whatsoever to go with that. The rest of the team are pretty solid though. So we'll see how this one pans out. Crucial's AWP maybe a bit of a hindrance though for the Saw side, because that's a weapon that Saw aren't able to pick up here. Surreal, players on your right, buddy. There you go, get the first and the second. Inside of the smoke, looking for the third. He's already lost a teammate, but he's been able to answer back.
Beautiful frag from Crucial as well, just to make the matters worse for Saw. As if when these guns have come out and Endpoint have really got around all these rounds, it hasn't already been difficult enough for Saw in the last 3. Well, it's only going to get worse moving forward, as their money is bound to run out shortly. Mighty Max just about to try and find Story now over the top onto the sandbags, as the bomb has been dropped by Boros. So it's looking like an assured victory here, as Story cowers in fear in the corner. Need to present themselves, and he can't even finish off Boros. Takes him down to a meager 1 HP. Could not be any lower if he tried, but Endpoint don't care. They'll take the round. They'll patch Boros up to fight another day. Give him a plaster, give him a quick kiss on the knee where he's taken a scrape, and all of a sudden he's better and no longer crying. Endpoint ready to rock and roll against pistols.
Did you give me a kiss on the knee, George?
Only if you fall over and graze
I heard it earlier.
Oh, you give it an ouchie. You got a boo-boo on your knee.
I do.
You want a Spider-Man sticker for being a brave boy?
Yes.
You said that with such sincerity. I was like, damn, Dad really didn't have this from the dentist as a kid.
Oh dear. Should be
Dan,
5
there's
for
nothing else Dan wants more in the world right now than a Spider-Man sticker to say well.
Yeah. And a good game of Counter-Strike.
That's good.
I mean, this one is not very enthralling, I will say that round is Endpoint basically just having a bit of target practice down that A ramp, but it's clean nonetheless. And Saw now have a chance to bounce back. They'll have Story on that AWP, but it's glass cannon. Ooh.
Okay, they've gone for the AWP. Now let's see how many players end up using it over the course of this game. I think we've got another technical issue here. Hopefully it's not going to be a long-lived technical pause. Otherwise we might be in some trouble. As Story, yeah, like you mentioned, picking up the AWP, it is going to be glass cannon, but I suppose he's currently the worst performing player on the Saw squad. 1 frag in those 3 rounds they've won. Not even picked up 1 in 1 of the rounds they've lost so far. So it's a bit of a stark contrast to what we've been seeing from them previously, at the very least, in the first 3 rounds. Saw Story, more specifically, didn't really have a great overpass. I think he and Roman combined, at one point, were definitely less than one of their teammates and the next best player on their team. But I think they finished the game just level, which is kind of shocking, really. I think they need to step it up a little bit. The AWP was absolutely instrumental for Endpoint in the first game. I think Crucial did a fantastic job and just had Story's number every time, or Roman's number, or Stododo's number, whoever had the AWP, to be honest. But they had the number sorted, and yeah, they got nothing but dial tone when Saw tried to call them back.
Yeah, the number has been disconnected, I'm afraid.
You can't leave a message either.
No.
I
You
won't
can't
call you
leave
right
a
back.
message for something that doesn't exist, you know.
Yeah?
It's like trying to send an email to a... Email doesn't exist, it just bounces back to you. What are you trying to do, son? That doesn't exist. Looks
Well,
like we're
Dan,
gonna have some longer lasting issues, George.
I hope this isn't going to be persistent, but I think
Yeah.
whilst we have the opportunity, we'll throw it to a quick break whilst these technical issues are resolved. Our diligent ESL admins will be all over this one, like the plague. Really, they'll be sorting it out, getting it all over, and I'm sure very soon we'll be ready to come back to you once this technical issue's been sorted out.
Look into my face. tried to build a home. I feel this world coming over me. The pressure makes me fold. And if I stay locked in the half-life, or choose to give in to my own mind, standing with all I know, through the hard wires, and finally feel it all. not stand flat. Open road and nomadic plans. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Lightning strikes in a quiet town. Bodies fall upon sacred ground. Burn a flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get ya. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. Bringing the firefight, baby. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'll find you in the dead of night. Out of the shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, 'cause I got a throne to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you a mistake. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's set in motion, the legend spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment.
Myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your
Welcome back. Apologies for the pause. A few internet issues, but it looks like we are just about ready to get back going, and Saw back in the server, back and ready to get going. I hope they aren't going to be too flustered by the issues. I mean, it's always awkward when you have one of those sort of long-lasting tech pauses. You get a little bit frustrated. Hopefully they can just get things going, but already Thomas has found that opening kill.
Yeah, not the best of starts for Saw. Right after their tech delay, they're immediately getting banged out by Thomas. The tank engine is drawing out of the station now, and he's ready to go on a long journey. Journey of 16 rounds. Unfortunately, Boros will not be accompanying him on this portion of the journey. Saw are able to clap him back and bring it into a 4-on-4. The HP advantage here definitely slanted in Saw's favour. Question really is, can Mighty Max survive over there? With HE grenades and all manner of utility being expended onto him, he is down at 3 HP. Surely, yet not long for this world, but his teammates doing a great job of keeping him alive, and now he is finally making a ruckus. Fortunately, Thomas is now being taken down. Crucial and Surreal are all that stands between Saw and a round victory. Crucial will try and go for a shot onto the bomb planter. It's not going to come just yet, but he still might find yet one. Roman has managed to find the frag instead through the periphery of the smoke, and now it's all on Surreal. 1 versus 3. Finds the first of those 3 into a 1 versus 2, but the health is just not with him. 21 HP, both players backing down the ramp. He doesn't really have a lot of options here. If he sticks it, he dies from Ivy. If he pushes, he dies from Ivy. So his options are limited, his days are numbered, and Saw get up to number 4.
Good start for them. I think just coming out of a tech pause, an extended one where you're the ones having the issues, I think that's good to see. Just to sort of get back into the zone super quickly there and make sure that you're not going to allow sort of Endpoint to streak up a few rounds and make it even worse for you. As it is obviously your map pick, Saw. You're here to try and tie this series up, force it to a decider, which of course is going to be Inferno if we get there, but for now, need to try and make it work on Vertigo, and already damage exchange for both sides. Crucial down to 50, just down to 44, and a little bit of ship damage done to a couple others as well. Makes it so that Saw are going to have a bit of awkwardness, but Mutir is caught just as he wants to line up nades by Crucial, having a little bit of peek in towards mid, and they can't get the timing much better than that if you're Crucial.
Yeah, best outcome possible. I mean, after losing the round right after a very long pause, it's often difficult to try and find the momentum to get back into the game. You often feel like you've been cut short a little bit. Just when you were starting to ramp up and the game was getting in your favour, you have to take a big old break. Really feel very fair, but in the end, Crucial and Boros both trade their lives away for a 3-on-3 to ensue. Once again, a different triad of players, but it's all going to result in the same outcome. Mighty Max caught out, distanced from the rest of his team. Surreal now going to try and attempt to stick the bomb. Actually gets off bit instead as Thomas burns inside bomb in flames. Even Surreal won't be long for this world. And as soon as Saw get into the site, they can't lose a man. Both times now that's happened. Endpoint are yet to formulate a response.
And look at the economy as well for the 7-point side. Boros has cash, fair enough, but the rest of the team just going to have to make do with pistols here, as Boros actually goes for an M4. A little bit of an overinvestment, maybe. Probably would have been better just going for a FAMAS or something, but he'll try and make it work with that weapon. He'll have a few upgraded pistols out. No 5.7s, but Thomas on the CZ. It's interesting actually as well. I remember Thomas, like, a couple of months ago, a big 5.7 player. He switched to the CZ now.
Dan, it's pistol time. Do you fancy a pistol time win? This is where Endpoint usually pull out their best work.
I don't think it's going to happen this round, especially with just finding that kill. The second one there would have been sublime. Thomas will go 1 for 1. But look at Roman in this position. He can cut off the rotations. Boros is lucky he doesn't overstep the mark there. He's able to back away. But with the B-site loss, the kill's coming through. It's just Crucial alone. Now 1 versus 4, and he will get caught as well. Saw find themselves 6, find themselves a lead, and a quick flurry of rounds from them. As Endpoint will get that buy back through. Crucial will bring out the AWP. There'll be the rifles coming out as well. And Saw, that's a nice little round just to build up a bit of cash behind you as well. You can see for a few of these players now, a little bit of money starting to build up. You have enough to at least bring a pretty decent buy up if you're not able to pick this next round up. So you can keep the pressure on Endpoint. Hope to have yourself a little bit extra. Even if Endpoint finds 6, you can try and fight for 7.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely chances here that Endpoint can get back into this round, get back into this game, but already losing Crucial, losing that AWP, and then subsequently losing 2 more players in an absolute flurry of frags from Saw. I think Boros and Mighty Max will be well advised to save here and just give this one up. Any further imbuement into this B site is likely to result in catastrophic failure for them. Now we'll press the reset button on their economy once again. They'll be back onto the pistols. It'll be another round for Saw. And by that point, we're already spiraling into a pretty dangerous spot. Point firing back with 1 frag on Boros, though. Don't know, since the timeout just seems to have been a little bit more complicated now for Endpoint to find rounds. Saw have really come in swinging. Same kind of hits into the site 3 times. They rinsed and repeated for the first 2, and then this one over towards B was a little bit more of the same. A litany of kills over towards the entrance, and that basically sets them up for success. Same formula, keeps working. Why bother doing anything different?
Yeah, why bother? Don't need to adapt to something that hasn't happened yet. Preemptive adaptation can often do more harm than good. As Endpoint, just saving those couple rifles. That's all they'll really have to work with in this next round. Obviously, a few Deagles purchased up as well could find a little bit of impact, but it's really going to be those rifles that you want to try and snowball the round with. Get yourself a frag or 2 to open things up, and that's going to be weapons that would be handed over to your teammates as well. And from there, you can just start to sort of, as I'll say, snowball. Build up the momentum in the round and catch them off guard. Thomas is in a good position to try and catch a player boosting up onto the boxes in mid. Unfortunately for him, not going to come to fruition, I don't believe, as Saw do lay down a bit of utility in mid, but they're not going to peek over that. Ooh, actually they are now, and Thomas has moved off that boost, so timing Favouring Saw a little bit there, spam through the wall. I thought maybe Surreal might get away from that one after the first few bullets came through, but just keeps it going. And this is a complete sweep from Saw as they're about to find 8.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Endpoint here. The last, 4 rounds now since we've come back from the tech pause just have not looked good for them at all. Getting caught out in position after position, whether it's crucial with the AWP over towards A, getting snagged in transition between locations, whether it's a clean sweep over at the B site that causes them to fall apart. This isn't looking like the same Endpoint that won those 5 rounds. And even immediately, before the bomb even gets planted, Story's able to finish off Mighty Max. Starting to become a little bit dangerous now. The Portuguese side are really stepping up to the plate. Didn't really see this from them on Overpass, and definitely didn't see it from them in the first portion of this first half. But ever since that timeout, they are well and truly ready to rock and roll. As Endpoint now find themselves with a bye. What are going to be one of their last ones if this one goes south? They need an 8-7 here, moving into their T half. I mean, Vertigo has had a number of stages to being CT side preferred, being T side preferred. I think it still sits at a pretty even balance right now, so 8-7 on the T side is definitely redeemable for Endpoint to come back against. All it takes, of course, is just a pistol round victory and the conversion, which we know is hard for them. But I'm sure they can do it if they need to. They can pull it out the bag.
Possibly. Need to get to that position first, and now Muturis laying out a bit of utility from the ladder room. He's going to try and support his teammates, and it does hold Boris back from the peek out from Ivy. But as it begins to fade, he fancies his chances. There's a gap in that smoke. He can't quite find the shots, though. The player just eludes him, and with a minute on the clock, still a 5-on-5. Installed, they've got all 5 players outside of this A ramp, wanting to go forwards. But what utility do they have to utilize still? A smoke, a couple mollies, a few flashbangs, a couple HEs. Still in their hit, ready for utilization. There's the Dodo. That's a huge pick to find. They just slow walk the ramp and catch him off guard. Boris can't do anything either. It's only damage being inflicted by the Endpoint side. And now Saw are sitting in a wonderful position for 9. 5-on-3. Endpoint just have to save.
Just looks so scattered, so discombobulated every time that a hit comes into the site. Often it's Max getting caught out of position from the rest of his team, trying to take aggressive angles but missing timings, missing players' heads that slide past him. He doesn't have the teammate support there. Boros just isn't willing to take the peek and then ends up rotating back into the site and just... I'm not really patient enough, to be honest. Just goes straight for the peek, ends up getting his head taken off, and whilst he had time to delay there, just by hankering back and finding a frag maybe, or just tapping some damage in and then hiding back. I know he was being pinched out, so there was limited number of options, but you surely can stand and fight one of them. Just going 2 for 1 or 1 for 1 is better than nothing. And Saw now, as a result, finding their way up to 9. They've just stepped it up a level now. All of a sudden, things have just started to go that much better. I mean, look, just on 13 frags, everybody else is now starting to contribute. Admittedly, Story somewhat still behind on 6, but it's okay, he's even. Everybody's having a decent enough time with things. There's no one player that's kind of having a bit of a wet bed at the moment.
Hoping these weapons can find success. Endpoint. It's the last round of the half. They've saved weapons from the last round. Do help them out pretty dramatically, in fact. And Surreal looking to find an opening shot. Finally, Endpoint have something to work with since we've gone back live, and it's courtesy of Surreal. You can see Saw have a lot of manpower over towards this B site, ready to assault the Dodo. Gonna get boosted up behind the wood plank. Surreal spots it out, takes him down. Another advantage in Endpoint's favour. And it's gonna be only 3 players looking to aggress, and Surreal is just having fun with this round. He's already found 3, is looking for more. His teammate's Molly actually forces him forward, and it's into the clutches of Story. The player given up, and now Saw might have an inroad back into this round, but a boost up for Thomas. He's going to catch the low HP of Muteris trying to push forward, and now Story alone. 1 versus 4. Player behind him can't anticipate that. So Endpoint do find a 6th at the half. And unfortunately, we are going to head to a short break before we get back into things in that second half.
love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. Just the way we live.
Yeah, they done told me to be myself. So when I went and found myself, the ones who told me back then be true to who I am ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we trying to victories like we in high tides. I'ma getting my prize. Only thing my eyes is locked in on. Have a milli mine. I want it right now. Don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high. Blood, sweat, and tears bring more to my eyes. Cause the whole gang winning. I done gave my life. Odds low, but we did it, ain't we? And we always moving, never on the same thing. Now our lives are highlight reel. We like the thrill. This life's ideal. The hype is real.
We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause stuck, we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause stuck, we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We're grown-up kids. In the dark, stone cold, sinking deeper. We are here. We keep holding on, dusk till dawn.
Welcome back, second half of this second map. About to get underway, and hopefully it's going to be a good start to this second half, because Saw, with the lead in their hands, could very well take this one into a position that Endpoint aren't going to be too fond of. I mean, Saw obviously wanting to try and get themselves a first map and a third map on the table. They need to try and make it work here on Vertigo. Dodo with a kit, a little bit of utility for both Mutiris and Story. They have a lot to work with. Same for Endpoint, actually. They have quite a lot to work with. That smoke's going to make life a little bit difficult for the Endpoint side to push forwards over towards B. It's just trying to find a few little taps for that USP. Needs to be careful he doesn't overpeak that Molotov flying in. Story looking for shots, but it's Boros who gets the opening, and he's going to get himself a double, eventually taken down by Stadodo as he starts to create a little bit of space towards his B site with assistance from Mutiris. They have been able to hold this one. The bomb drop forward as well. Endpoint are going to struggle to get that one back in control, but Stadodo having a little bit of an overextension leaves it up to his two teammates, and now it's just Mighty Max alone, 1 versus 2. As he wants to try and find shots. Might be able to, but they're just going to double peek him. Not a chance for Mighty Max and Saw. They'll find 10, George, and they'll start the campaign on this second half very, very well.
Damn right they will. And the one thing that we can say for certain is that if Endpoint would have won the pistol, they'd have lost the second. So now it's time to see if the same can be true for Saw. Can they win the pistol and convert? Well, there was no bomb plant from Endpoint, so the buy that they're going to have here is going to be a little lackadaisical. Boros, Mighty Max going to be coming in with real weapons, I suppose you could say. The Scout for Mighty Max rather than Crucial having that particular weapon, but Boros on the Galil, meaning that Thomas with the most OP weapon as we know in the game, and Surreal and Crucial on the Eagles. Now that's obviously been switched about now as Mighty Max has been taken down. It isn't the trade of Roman, so that leaves, I think, an AUG actually available for retrieval if no one's watching that one. I'm sure Boros will give that information to his teammates if he is able to do so, but now Story is in position to try and deny that. That's a fast shot from Surreal. An even better one soon to come from Boros as Stadodo manages to get himself taken down. All of a sudden it's a 4 versus 2. Left up to Mutiris and Just. Now have a lot of options to work with here. The A site is looking like the final destination for Endpoint. It's now in they go. Mutiris not even going to attempt to spam through that smoke. Justice just keeping his eyes on the flank for the time being. There goes the spam. There goes the frag. Galil upgrade for Thomas. Now all 3 players with rifles. It's just basically as good as a gun round here because they've all got armor to play with as well. Now in come the flashbangs. The retake is attempted here from Saw, but as one frag is found, it's instantly traded away, leaving just Mutiris 1 versus 2. It's a pinch angle coming in, and Surreal has the correct one. Finds the frag, finds the round. Endpoint just flip the curse back around. They'll do whatever they have done to them, back to Saw.
Ooh. And this is what we saw in the first half as well, George. Obviously, roles reversed, but Endpoint felt the brute force of a Saw force buy, and now Saw feel that one back. It could be a good avenue for Endpoint to get it back into things. Saw are going to want to try and shut this one down before it can really get underway, because they had a really good chance to try and lead the way through this second half, but now Endpoint are going to be the ones in control. Just to remind you, winner of this map, or winner of this series rather, will be heading to the IEM Fall RMR. Loser will have a second chance in the lower bracket. Point up the map already, and it's the Dodo just over the top of the smoke. That's a cheeky little angle, and it's a cheeky little frag as well onto the ginger beauty of Thomas. Boros is trying his best. He gets 2. At least it minimizes the deficit, but it's not enough. Saw steal it back. 11 on the board for them, George, and it's just back and forth early on in the second half. Neither team able to get an advantage going.
I feel like it might be time to strap in, Dan. So I think we're about to be in for a long haul of force buying, somehow finding a way to be successful. I gotta say, Endpoint's fragging tallies are looking a lot like Saw's were in the first game, where there is a huge disbalance between top and bottom. It's like a top-heavy fraction. It just shouldn't work. It's irrational. Here it is anyway. Endpoint. With the AK, with the Tech 9, and with the Deagles. What can they find? Well, the AK is already gone, but it is at the expense of Just. Now, that AK can be recovered, and it is given to Surreal. Bit of meddling going on over at the B site as well, with flashbangs being thrown, just to try and give them a little bit of keep them on edge, I suppose you would say. More than anything. Saw. Let's defend as best they can. There is going to be Roman here. Spotted anything as of yet. Is that the right smoke? I think it is actually. It creates a bit of a one-way for him. That's very, very nice. I like that a lot. And it has made a bit of a funnel here for Endpoint. They have to elevate over the top or they can't go around it. Beautifully positioned by Roman. Dodges the flashbang and still gets his head removed anyway. Now Mighty Mac chimes in for a second for himself. Just 2 more frags stand between he and pulling this round back. Switches the Deagle and AK combination around to give Crucial it as he has more health to play with. Story just going to hide back here on the sniper's box, leaving Mutiris to try and hit a bit of a flank. Surely got to go for some kind of plan here sooner rather than later. They'll drop it over to Max. Mutiris just waiting to hear the click of that bomb going down. Oh, Crucial, what a shot. That's lovely. And that opens up the round wonderfully now for Mutiris to now try and find a way in. Angling for the frag, and he's got the bigger one of the 2. He's found the higher HP player. Now Mutiris is just bounding about. He's spotted ahead, but Mighty Max with the Deagle lays him to waste. And that's going to be another force buy back for Endpoint.
Max is just going to drop Deeg's nuts all over his face there, and Endpoint, they find 8. Let's close the scoreboard up to just a 3-round deficit. And again, neither of these teams are able to get themselves into a winning position. Just to try and stack rounds up on top of each other. It's just back and forth. And now Saw, it looks like they'll probably go for it again here. You've not got enough to sort of save for the next round. You may as well go for it. And already Muteris and Story investing into this.
I think it'll be alright. I think it'll be okay. Should just be just fine to force buy in here. I think it's going to be a good time for it. They have no money as it is, right? And the loss bonus isn't looking too fruity for next round. It wouldn't afford them a buy as it is. So what have you got to lose, aside from a round? 2.
Yeah, apart from the series to qualify for IEM Fall. Yeah, apart from that, what do you have to lose?
There's not much on the line, you know?
No. It's one of the biggest tournaments of the year. With qualifying points for the major. The biggest tournament of the year.
Yeah. No stakes, boys. It's okay. No pressure. No big deal.
Everything's crisp breezy right now.
Yeah, I woke up Chris Breezy. Swear to God, I'm the man.
Oh yeah, you are the man. I've seen it. Boros is the calf. He's gone to the slaughter. There's Story's Deagle. With a little bit of assistance from Muteris there. Do collect him through the scaffolding. It's a construction hazard. Safety at work. Not filled out the correct risk assessment, I don't think, as we'll have to evacuate that building site and head over towards a B site where the assessments have been filled out. Muteris, though, is going to rip it to shreds as Mighty Max has had his head removed. No longer in this round, it's up to Crucial to try and keep his teammate alive, but those Deagle shots, those MP9 shots, are just out of this world. Saw 12 on the board, and again, George, it's back and forth, swings and roundabouts, neither team able to find an advantage.
I would love to see a timeline, like, you know, the timeline when you hold tab. Yeah. I would love to see that timeline right now. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be possible. It's not part of this HUD. But a timeline here would be absolutely mega, just to see what the rounds have been like. Because it is back and forth, back and forth. No team has won more than one round in a row so far, as a matter of fact. Endpoint now have a chance to try and continue that same theme. Boros, of course, the wealthiest of all the players at the moment, as he goes straight for the Galil. And it is exactly the same buy that they've been operating with on these type of rounds for the last 3 attempts. Just somebody's got to break the deadlock, and unfortunately, it's not going to be Story here, I imagine, because look at that money for the CT side. I suppose when you get into a war of force buying, it only ever just progressively gets worse for the CT side with how expensive their economy is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Endpoint just have a single Galil, a few Deagles, but a Tech 9 is in there as well, so it would be influential.
Oh, it's going to be Boros, though. He's got to be the man if he doesn't already get tagged on down. Okay, that's going to be time for a weapon switcheroo if I'm Boros now, I'd be thinking. Good chunk of utility is bludgeoned in towards this lower A ramp, and a good chunk of bullets also lodged down there as well. Painting the walls in blood red at the moment as they're finally going to start to show some presence. I feel like this one might be the beginning of the end, but already there is a trade frag. Roman can't get away with saving Stododo's life. He's out of there. It is going to be the 4-on-4, and you've just got to start feeling like that maybe it's inevitable that we're going to be going in circles over and over again. But Story has other ideas. Smoke in his face. For real. Trying to try and get across, but he's got Crucial instead. Story's doing this round by himself. A 2 versus 4 now. Surely Endpoint can't bring this one back from the brink. It would be wild to think that they can, but the 2 Galils in play. The bomb eking its way into the site. Going to surely try and stop that plant as best they can. One straight back on through. A second. One over the top. The flashbangs are good. Running out of ammunition. Go to the Deagle. Switch to the Deagle, Mighty Max. Maybe you can find one head. Maybe you can collateral them together. It's going to be a strange old round as Just tries to get back around the corner. Heads are being tapped away. Max is all that remains. 1 versus 2. Both players extremely low on HP. Max in the 1 versus 1, and he's done it! We're back again! We can't escape it! We're stuck in a time loop! Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Please just let me free.
Oh, it will not stop! Oh back and forth. Endpoint back in this one. 9-12. It just won't stop. It can't stop. And Endpoint now sit with a couple AKs, a couple Galeals, the map 10 for Thomas. He's not having a great series, but neither's crucial. And I mean, Saw, you can see they've had a pretty even disparity for kills. Roman tries to take the initial fight. Actually does tag up Boris, but he gets a decent chunk done to him in return. So that scout going to be tagged a little bit down and just has to fade away. So Dodo's going to be the one that wants to have a little bit of a peek in towards that ramp. And for now, not spotting anything. At that point, they just have a bit of a chillaxation time.
This round is a lot less chaotic than the last. Dodo is about to put an end to that, I imagine, as he gets traded away. This is just how all good Force by round start, isn't it? 4 on 4. It's got to be the same every time. Well, might be how all good forces start, but is it how the fairy tale ends here for Saw? They've done well at keeping this one in play for so long. Endpoint are trying to be as resilient as possible. They've already rotated a litany of players over here towards this A site. It's going to be a 4 on 4. It's like a joust. They're just going to go straight in on horseback and try and knock off the other team. A good first frag for Surreal, but again, it's a trade. It's a 3 on 3. The HP is so tantalizingly low for everybody on the Endpoint side. They need to back away. This Just Eagle is going to be so very potent against these low HP players. They can one-shot the lot of them. As now one player taps the bomb, that's going to be Mutiris with the FAMAS. He's going to elevate over the top. Surely he's going to get spotted. No, it's a 1 versus 2 now for Surreal on 4 HP. Finds the head, can't find the frag. It's the same story. We're trapped, Dad. We can't leave.
Get us out of this simulation. Oh, Saw fight 13. And just with the MP9, the man to do it. This is just Haruro plays time and time again. Oh, Mighty Max has stepped up massively. He's not had a great start to this map, but he's 13 and 12 now and has been finding frag after frag after frag. Has had some huge clutches come through as well for his team. And now, Endpoint once again back on the back foot, but Saw, I mean, they're happy if this keeps going because they'll get to 16 first. They'll find themselves winning this one out if it keeps doing like this. Endpoint are the ones who need to break this quantum loop. There's the Dodo. Oh, this is brave. Could he get a kill? Oh, he's out. Oh, he must be out. Gonna work. Mighty Max no-scopes him with the scout, and that was bold, brash, maybe a little bit stupid. It doesn't pan out in the end, and now that scout, Mighty Max. Oh, that is dirty. He's just tanked Roman and put Endpoint back in the driving seat for this one. But maybe Story, George, maybe Story can find something in this round for Saw because he is behind the sandbags. I don't think they do. They don't have a Molotov to chuck there. They have to hard clear it. Beneficiary for Story because he peeks out, only finds one though. Needed multi-frags and his teammates are left in a tough situation, but with a low HP for a few of these players. It's just spam city through this smoke once again. A duel towards the A site, and it looks like Saw are already backing away.
Oh my god, just let me free! Come on! It is Force by Central. It is once again the same old story. This time it's Max. I have absolutely no idea what the Dodo is doing. You know that meme of Omni-Man where he's like, think, Mark, think! That's what I'm like, just a Dodo right now. Just think, man. Just think what you could have done. Oh my good Lord Jesus, sweet Mother of Mary. It's a time loop. We're stuck. Wake me up from this simulation.
Oh, but again, as I said,
surely this is the round now. Surely.
Endpoint have to break this curse. They're the ones that need to get themselves on the front foot if they want to try and force this on this second map into their camp. So, as I said, are happy if this keeps going back and forth because they'll be the ones who find themselves at 16 before Endpoint get to 15. And now, a single AK for Just. MP9 for Mutiris, a couple Deagles, a Scout for Stododo. It's not all that good, but maybe it's enough to keep this one going for the Saw side as Boris takes a healthy chunk of damage. Oh
no.
Stododo on the Scout.
Not again, please.
He's finding a good deal of damage.
believe, Dan, that we're about to be trapped once more.
Maybe.
The exact same
players
opening.
are low.
Just go to the B site just once, maybe. It's not opening this time for Endpoint. That's a good thing, I guess. That doesn't go according to the script of the last few rounds, at least. They're now in the site. They found a second frag. Oh my goodness, we might have just made it happen. But Just isn't going to let this go without a fight. Finally grabbing one more frag back, but they don't look too interested in this rotation, Dan. In fact, they're actually absconding down to the lower level already. You can see it on the minimap. It's going to hide away back in CT spawn.
Yeah, they've already conceded this. They want to fight in the next round. So Endpoint have finally found 2 in a row.
It's so strange to say. It's so strange to say that after, what, like 8, 9 rounds now, finally someone's found 2 rounds in a row. It's unheard of.
Crucial's hunting, though. He's going to find a couple of those kills. He's going to find all of those kills. Okay. 11 on the board, and absolutely nothing saved for Saw. This means it's gonna have to be a full eco for the Saw side. $2,000 per player. Yeah, they'll get 2,400 in at the end of this round. So at minimum 2,400. Oh, sorry, 4,400 in the bank accounts for these players. If they don't buy anything, they're not gonna buy anything. Well, those weapons would have been really, really useful for Saw, but unfortunately, I think it's Endpoint with themselves getting a 12th before Saw will be able to rebuy. Unless, you know, George, unless the USP's 5-man stack towards his A side could end the catastrophe as Boros is just getting wide peaked. He gets 1 help from Crucial, secures another, and they are managing this one very, very well. Just Boros who went down, and Crucial gets himself a triple. Endpoint get themselves to 12, and now just a 1-round deficit to the Saw side.
I'm still reeling, to be honest, Dan. I'm still recoiling from what we've said and from what has happened in this previous, like, 10-round stretch. I've got to say, I feel like both organizations should stop playing Counter-Strike and invest in table tennis, because that was like ping-pong. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Honestly, I don't know what even to say about this anymore, as now finally Endpoint have broken the deadlock, but Saw back on the buy now. They can present quite a permanent threat to this Endpoint side. Just 1 round is enough, and we're at that time in the game, Dan. It's round 26, round 27, that kind of time, the 11th and 12th round of the second half, where the games always get to squeaky bum time. 1 round here can make the difference. It won't be this one for the Endpoint side, because they can buy next round anyway, but it will almost certainly be this or the next that dictates the passage of play for the next couple of rounds. So, Boros here, needing to find an entry. Where's his first port of call going to be? He's got 3 players around him. Little does he know. Turns away from the flashbang. There is going to be no subsequent peek from the Saw side. They are going to try and fire some shots off through. Crucial missing a very important shot, but then finds it through the tarpaulin. Rips down Roman and brings the advantage back into Endpoint's hands.
Oh, Endpoint might just be able to tie up this game. Saw are going to fight limb for limb to try and stop this from happening. Story with 15 HP. He is going to be surely fed to the wolves sooner rather than later, as it's just damage through the smoke. Thomas finds a huge kill, but Muteris is still in position! And a second as well. He's not able to escape, but he's done damage, at least kept things even. And no, Crucial, the shot! He gets a second time, and it's all up to Just, and Crucial is not going to miss that time, and it is Endpoint 13 on the board. They want to put this one to bed. And it is sleepy time for Saw, maybe, because it is just the pistols for them once again.
Oh my goodness me. It's finally happened, and now Saw can't catch a break. Endpoint have woken up. It just took them a few rounds of getting smacked in the face repeatedly, and now they're finally there. 13-13. Much needed round now for Endpoint. Just need to convert against these pistols. Nothing silly, please. And then they'll be on the home straight. 14th round with loads of cash under their belt. Mighty Max has got so much money. Crucial does as well. Just need to make sure don't give up any crazy advantages. Nothing too silly. Play it by the book. Play it safe. Reintroduce some strategy here, because so far the last few rounds have been nothing but carnage. So just slow the pace of it down. Play at the pace that you want to play at. here for Boros and Endpoint. Looks like they still want to go aggressive after finding that first frag. They still think they have a horse in this race, an argument to be made. It's hard to debate and refute that fact because they have clawed their way back into this one now after such a tumultuous second half. 13-10, now up to 13-13, and Boros has an opportunity to put it to bed completely here as he finds 3. Boros denied of the 4K, but it's okay. A round win's a round win. Endpoint get to 14. Now finally the purchase from Saw.
Oh, Boros, those are some nice shots. 27 and 18 for the young calf. But Saw, final chance, really. They'll have one more force buy with the max loss bonus if they aren't able to pick up this round, George. That's going to put a lot of pressure on them. Story has that AWP. Stododo has one as well. They're going for that double AWP setup, but it's surreal. Actually, with the AWP right now in this round, I think they were just doing it for the spawn-based peak. Does chuck it back into Crucial's hands. So, Story, no, a huge big shot. Thomas is going to go running around the corner. Didn't expect Mutiris to be there. And he gets caught in return. So 4-on-4, a saving grace for Saw there. Boros is going to be looking towards his A site. Has a bit of control towards scaffolding. Is going to get a little bit of support from his teammates now, potentially. But Roman could find an angle. Not spotting Boros, though. It's going to be up to Stododo to try and find this shot instead. He's actually just going to line up some utility, and hopefully he won't get timed on by Boros peeking. Now he's just going to hold station, and surely Boros knows that Saw realized he could be in this position. Waits for his teammates to come rejoin him. Stododo still is watching this angle. That flashbang forcing him to pull the trigger. He does though on the player, pushing and misses the chance. Surreal is able to find Mutiris off the back of it, but frags in return. Oh, Stododo tries to go over the top, and he gets caught out for it. A 2-on-1 for Endpoint. This could be it. This could be Saw's final chance, and it lies at the feet of Just. He's got 21 kills so far this game, and he's got 20 seconds to try and win this round out with Mighty Max. Gonna tap in those midgets, plants that bomb, he peeks around the corner, takes Surreal out of action. Another 1v1, he knows where Max is, and he gets the shot. Huge 1 versus 2 coming out from Just, and Saw, they stay alive a round longer. They keep this going, and they will find a tie game. It's not gonna be all too much cash coming in for them, though. Endpoint have so much money to play with. They'll be able to buy no problem. Saw are going to have to cobble together what they can.
I've got to say, it's not going to be worst case scenario here for Saw. They still win the round, right? They'll still have enough money to buy. Worst case scenario would have been the loss, because that would have basically been the nail in the coffin. But this is it, Dan. Do or die. Endpoint have all the bells and whistles, all the trimmings, all of the sauces that they want to add to their delicious little meal inside of this round. Meanwhile, Saw are, well, they're on the food stamps. They've got to go buy scraps. They've got the FAM acid, the MP9. It's really low in utility, but they're still committed. This AWP for Story, who's going to have to run through fire and flames in order to retreat back into the site. Crucial just unscopes at the inopportune of moments. He does not know there is a player just obscured by the smoke drop by his teammates just right now. Stododo may still try and capitalize upon this for the time being. There is no round more important than this for Saw. Of course, if Endpoint lose, they still have another map to try and trounce through Saw, but if not, and they make their way to IEM Fall. Saw, on the other hand, so much riding on it for them. It'd be great to have Portuguese representation as well as the Spanish that we've got from Movistar Riders. 2 emergent regions doing their own thing. But Boros has so many other ideas. 28 frags. He really has started to take over this game now as he finds himself absolutely in the driver's seat and finds himself that first frag. Just needs to try and transition it into a few more as Robin now relocates himself over towards the Ivy side, picking up towards Elbow with Mutiris. They think this is their best opportunity. A boost over the top could be absolutely perfect. At this moment in time, they find not 1 but 2 frags potentially, but they get flashed off the angle. Boros, the man with the hot hand, is gone. But still a 4-on-4 ensues. Crucial with a fantastically important shot over the top. Now just going to peer to his left as he anticipates that these players who are on the boost are going to try and wrap back into the site, but they smoke their arrival, and Thomas dips out towards B with Mighty Max's assistance.
Surreal.
Cleared the space. It's up close and personal. He's going to find one. The second peers around the corner, but he's falling back off the angle. He'll now readjust and wait for his head to emerge. He'll find it, just turn to his left for the final frag, but he did it once before, he's got to do it again. 1 versus 2 that time, this time a 1 versus 4. It feels like a huge stretch. It should be a huge stretch, but Just is going to just back away if he's allowed to. Crucial's P250 denies him an endpoint. Surely that is the nail in the coffin they've been looking for.
Oh, just needed that M4 into the next round. He needed to save that weapon because now Endpoint, they have everything they need. Saw are going to be left in tatters with this buy. A few MP9s, Story with a FAMAS, the Dodo with a Deagle. That's all they can muster up, and it's not going to be the mustard that's required for this Saw side. It's going to be what they need. Endpoint have everything in the palm of their hands, secure a 2-0 here. Secure that IEM Fall spots. The Real already gets the first kill, but Just is able to trade out. His teammates not doing so good as the Dodo is caught as well. It's Boros. Who else to find that advantage towards the A site?
Who else could it be, Dan? Boros has been great this game. That brings up his 29th frag. Just one more for the 30 in 30 rounds. Sensational performance from him. Surreal's also joined the party quite nicely, but yeah, like you mentioned in the mid portion of this game, Mighty Max and Crucial stepping up to the plate after pretty slow starts. They really did come strong. Just Thomas really didn't see anything from him on overpass either, but I guess really need to. Still frags to be found, Dan. Still a 4 versus 3 of the round, slowing down to the pace of a crawl.
The important kill, and he gets it, but smoke out, molly out. He will get caught. His teammates there to recollect, and now it's all on to Just once again. But with 12 HP, there's just no way he does it. At Endpoint,